Welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Fred
And
McDaniels.
I'm Coach Rick Youngblood back in the building Friday night. Dayton, Ohio. Coach back in the building. What's been going on?
Man, nothing, man. Still sitting home, waiting for a paycheck, but, just enjoying life, man.
37 days, 38 days, man. This is crazy.
I know.
38 days, no job, no working, just at home. Honey-do list is gone, though.
Oh, you finished your honey-do list?
Honey-do list is cleared for the year.
I didn't even start mine, man. I went out there and saw them leaves outside. I was I'm going to call somebody.
I ain't messing with no leaves.
They got to come help me out.
You got to wait till all the leaves fall in.
There you go. There you go.
Then I'll mess with the leaves later, but I ain't messing with that. So, hey, thank God for a rainy day fund.
Yeah.
Because I've been digging into it.
I have too. Thank God. He's a blessing.
When you look in your calendar and say zero, you ain't going to pay that.
I know, man. I think I got a check like 2 weeks ago. It said like 73 cents.
I got that.
I was like, man, what's
for 2 weeks of work, 73 cents.
Yeah.
That's like way below poverty, ain't it?
I'm telling you, something is going on. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. We just gonna play it by ear. I'm hoping that we're there before Thanksgiving, that everybody can enjoy. And we did a neat thing the other day. We gave food away. We had it at our office, and people came by. We served about 200 people.
Nice.
So I was blessed with that. I got like 60 TV dinners in the crib right now that I got people coming by tomorrow to pick up. So God is good. He blessed us, so we blessed them. You know what I'm saying? So that was good.
We kind of doing the same thing at my event center. We got the barrels out for those perishable items that people need.
Right.
That we collecting food for. So we in on it too. To helping the needy. Always good to help the needy. When they need it. So it's what we're doing now. So
right. So but I'm very excited today.
Why is that?
Because all this hard work me and you put in for the last 4 years is finally circus back to the top, bruh.
That's good. That's good.
And I am so happy to do it on our show. This is our 20th show, and I wanted to do this on our 20th show. So I am
I can't believe it.
Yeah, we did 20 already, man, and there's more to come, bruh, and I am so happy. But we're just gonna jump into it.
Well, let's do it. Who we got today?
Oh man, Ohio Valley Elite Football Club. We're starting off with our Little League that starts in February, and we got our Director of Athletics here with us to tell us a little bit about our Little League that we getting ready to start here in the Dayton area. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Would you just tell us a little bit about yourself and, the things that you've been doing for the community and how we got hooked up and how we getting this Little League started this year?
Excellent.
Well, I'm sorry, next year.
Next year.
2026.
That's right. So my name's Lauren Nelson. I've been associated with athletics now for about 20 years, starting out coaching my daughter's soccer team, and then have kind of just rolled into a role as far as in the education sector. I've spent the last 20 plus years in education. So I am just thrilled to be associated with Ohio Valley Elite to help bring apart this new youth football team into the city of Dayton, which, as we all know, there is just very few opportunities for kids in the city of Dayton when it comes to athletics. So right now we are in the process of building that youth football organization. We're in final negotiations on which league we're going to play in. And we are really focused on bringing a real holistic approach to youth football, something different for the kids in the city.
Well, that is awesome, man, and I'm glad that you're a part of the team.
Absolutely. Blessed to be here.
Thank you, Rick.
But when you say that you're looking to bring something different to the city of Dayton, and there are a few youth program leagues out there already, what are you going to say what do you think you can bring different that they don't do that's going to make your program stand out?
Excellent, Rick. So just like I said, a holistic approach. Not only is it about X and O's, but it's also about dotting your I's and crossing your T's. It's about making sure that those kids and those families are supported on a daily basis, both in and out of the classroom. We're going to have more of a really involved approach when it comes to school requirements, any sort of mental health needs, that these kids may need support with, any sort of assistance, just like, the wonderful organizations already provided to, the community. We are looking to have all of that at our program. And then also with our partnership right now with Ponance High School. Coach Earl White has just been extremely helpful in helping us build this youth organization.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great to have that holistic approach and give them something more than just football to build on. And see the X's and O's, but what happens off the field, to be prepared to be that student athlete, because we need that educational part for our kids, and that's going to be great. That is a big difference from what I've seen for the other youth programs. And when my son was coming up in youth football, it was all about football. Other than football, the kids really didn't seem to matter to them, to the program. It's all about the football and making money for the program. So that holistic approach would be something very different for this part of the city, and it would be something that's very much appreciated. So.
Yeah, I think it's important that we are a nonprofit organization. Clearly costs have to be considered because quality does cost money, and it's 2025. Everything is more expensive. But through our approach and partnerships, we are really looking to keep those costs down so that we can make sure that every child in the city of Dayton has access to our program.
So is your program going to be for kids Dayton citywide? Is it going to stretch more than Dayton? Is it going to stretch into other communities as well, or just Dayton?
So our target audience right now is the city of Dayton, children that attend Dayton Public Schools. Okay. That is our main focus. Now, depending upon what league we get into, there may be some dividing lines as far as, what side of town or what zip codes those kids may live in. But that's something that we're working out with the league right now to figure out. Whereas if we're in another league, then we pretty much just have access to the city of Dayton completely. So either way it goes, we are seeking to really hit that target audience of the kids that are in most need. As we all know, a lot of the suburban areas have really strong programs. They have a lot of great, community members behind that. We're looking to start that legacy here in the city of Dayton.
Nice. Very nice.
So important, huh?
Yes, it is. Sounds great.
Well, tell us a little bit about your background. I know that when I met you, you was into education. You ran a couple of CDCs here. I don't know here, but I know that was one of your qualification and your goal that you had in your life. So just give us a little bit about your education background and,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I never thought when I was younger that I would be in education, but you really can't step away from a calling. So in 2005, I was blessed to join Dayton Public Schools and work with children with special needs. I worked with kids with autism. I worked with kids that had behavioral issues. I worked with kids with multiple disabilities. And so from there, it really taught me how to really dissect education and deliver it to a wide variety of kids. So from there, I went back to school, got a couple degrees, and I entered into private education, which led me to the child care industry. I worked for a very large corporate organization here locally, and I worked my way up, started out in the classroom, and then I was a supervisor of a building, supervisor of curriculum, and then I made it to the corporate office where I was able to help support all of those systems through compliance and quality control. After that, I branched out off on my own and actually built 4 child care locations, 3 here in the Montgomery County area, and then 1 up in Mercer County. That was just an amazing experience to really learn more about, how to deliver education, how to use supportive services. I've been engaged with a lot of wonderful programs throughout the time that are going to help inform our children and families in our program. So that's really just been a journey through all levels of education. And, one thing that I've learned is when you're in education, you're constantly learning. And the best thing you can do is to share that you know. So that's what I look to do, not only with the kids that are involved in our program, but also the coaches that are involved with our program, because there's a right way and a wrong way, and there's a best way, there's best practices.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we're focused on, is ensuring that not only are we delivering high quality instruction, but we're also providing that high quality example for young men and young women that we're working with.
That is awesome, Coach. That is something, that is something. What a great background.
Thank you.
But my other question is that a little birdie told me that you guys started a 12U basketball league this year.
Yes. So that actually kind of fell in our lap, I would say. We had an opportunity, we were approached, and it was really amazing to have that opportunity. We met a couple of coaches that are really, really excited to be a part of our organization. They've been present at every meeting, hit every target that we've needed. We actually had our first practice just Thursday, and we've scheduled our first game. So that's really awesome for that. We're part of the Dayton Metro organization, this Winter League. So that is a storied organization in the area. If you've played basketball anywhere around Dayton, you've played in the Dayton Metro at least once or twice, you know. So we're really, really excited for that. And that kicks off in the beginning of December. That's when games start.
Well, that is awesome, because you know that been wanting that for so long. You know, so I'm happy that you guys having that. I'm sorry about that, having that in the program. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes really the efforts of the wonderful volunteer coaches. It takes the efforts of everyone that's involved in this organization, no matter if it's football, basketball, youth, no matter what. We all wear a lot of hats, and we're just here to do what's right for the kids.
Awesome.
Outstanding. And notice you talked about the volunteer coaches and other people that you have in the program. And you know how in today's world with so much going on, how do you ensure, what process do you use in selecting the right people? Because you know you have to have the right people around kids today. What process do you use to ensure you got the right people?
Oh, yes. So that's where my background in childcare really helps out, because we have a multi-tiered system when it comes to background checks. And so the background check process starts once we feel that we have an appropriate candidate. But even before that, we start out with a really intense interview process. That starts with an application, and then the board sits down, we interview each individual coach, we get back, we discuss, we figure out what their strengths, what their weaknesses may be. Is it something that we can work with? And then from there, we send them through our BCI and our FBI background checks. And that runs through every single registry that is available to do. So if you're qualified to work with infants in a child care, then this background check is going to make you qualified to work with children in a football setting or basketball setting. That's something that we make sure for every person that is involved in our organization, that they have an appropriate background check before they're even allowed to be with kids.
Okay, and then what about your coaches that are going to be actually on the field or on the court with your players? What kind of training do they have to go through?
Well, they have to go through training with our organization to ensure that their goals align with ours. We also have pop-up visits where we make sure that our quality control is where it needs to be. We also have a board member at every single contest that's going down. We make sure that really there's an open line of communication from parents, from coaches, even from athletes, that if there is an issue identified, anything like that, we're going to work with that coach to ensure that that is taken care of. And then from there, we can always make steps. If one of us has to step in, that's absolutely what we're going to do.
Oh, it sounds like a sound program. It sounds like the process that you have will weed out those that are not supposed to be there. Yeah. And when it comes to your parents, how do we, because parents are the most difficult ones to deal with these days, you know, being in the, you know, I had kids, you know, my daughter when she played in basketball and AAU, and being with coaches that are recruiting, and they always talk to us about, hey, we don't only recruit the kid, we recruit the parents too. Mm-hmm. So that starts with how a parent acts and how they, you know, treat coaches and stuff when they're in the stands. So what do we do for our parents to ensure that they kind of behave when they're, even though they're youth, but still behavior matters?
So this is something I learned in the education industry. You can't expect something from someone if they are not made aware. So what we do is we have those conversations with those parents ahead of time. And we let them know that that affects the experience, not only for their child, but for the other children. And so in order to make sure that we have a positive experience, they trust us with their children and their children's development.
Right.
We ask them that they also trust us while in competition. And so if we encounter anything, we have a board member present, we'll go and we'll have a conversation. But we always want to act on something before any outsiders have to act on anything.
Correct.
Because once again, we are examples for those young men and those young women.
Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah, that sounds like it makes a lot of sense that, because parents are important to the kid, but their behavior really matters, and that kid kind of looks up to them. But that is that having them to trust the people you have around, and that kind of eases the parents' mind and their behavior. So that's wonderful. That sounds like it's a successful way to do things, but I think it's going to be very, very, very good for you. So
we're going to be successful as long as we follow our plan, we follow those policies and those procedures. That's absolutely what we want to do.
You for sure have to, whatever you have in place, it has to be followed to a T, no exceptions for anybody.
Yep.
And everything has to be straight down the middle. And once you develop a program like that, then most people will follow that. They understand that, hey, this program is by the book. There's no exception, no matter who you are, how great you are, what you do. If you ain't following this, you can't be here. So that's wonderful. That's outstanding.
We'll be right back with you. We got to take a break, pay the bills. Gym City Sports Network. Back in the building, Coach's Corner. I'm Fred McDaniels.
I'm Coach Rick Youngblood, Coach, back in the building this Friday. We've been having a very interesting conversation with Mr. Nelson. It's been doing wonderful. It sounds like his program is what the city's been needing for a long time. So the kids can really, really benefit from it. Just building them off the field character-wise, and education being strong, and what they need to develop into great young men and women as they grow up in life, and not just all about sports. So that holistic approach, is the first that I heard dealing with youth sports, but I think it's going to make a huge difference, Coach.
I think it will. I definitely think it will. Coach, I got another thing. I heard that you got a little 12U traveling football team out there.
Yes. I mean, the thing is when you have a good organization, when you have people that are responsive and work with you, people do want to come and follow you. So once again, just like our wonderful basketball team that just, kind of appeared, the same thing with our 12U travel team. We had, once again, an opportunity where an organization wanted to come over and really raise the bar for their kids. And so we were able to help assist with that. And currently they are scheduled to go to Tennessee. Troy.
Yeah.
Troy is the first one. But then we're looking for out-of-town tournaments as well at this point. But once again, that's only possible when you have good people in the organization working towards one goal. When you have a lot of different things going around, that really doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone. So the fact that we're all focused on the same, mission, that's just been amazing for these kids.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I can't wait to see some football. That was my life. You know what I mean? Me and Rick used to coach. We've been coaching like 30 years now, and that's all I dreamed about, was having my own traveling football team and going different places, and those kids get to meet other people and their experiences and things like that. So that is totally great. Appreciate that.
It's been big. That's big. That's big. We really enjoyed it when we got an opportunity to do it. To get the kids out to another state, another city, but to play with kids that they might be competing with for scholarships later on in life. But they will maintain that friendship that they built and that bond they built. And when they see each other down the line, might be 10th grade, 11th grade, when they see each other, like, hey, I remember you from back then. And it builds that relationship and builds that network of people that you are able to be around. So I think that traveling team is something that's going to be really special if you got, like, say, you have the right people around, and I know that something like that has to be expensive for you. So what are your program is doing to offset that cost off the parents and for the kids to be able to do that?
Fundraising is an amazing portion of what we do. So we've got these wonderful coupon books that coaches are really, putting their efforts towards. Once again, we're seeking more partnerships, some outside support, once again, to help defray that cost. And so it's really hard because when you're traveling, there's a lot of expenses that are involved in that.
Right.
But the efforts of everyone combined coming together to support these kids, that's really what makes it work. So the parents certainly kick in their portion, but their efforts as far as the fundraising has really been amazing, and we just want to keep that going, keep that ball rolling, and invite any future sponsors that would want to be engaged with our high-level organization. Our plea is to you to please, contact us, because we're here for you.
And with your background in education and dealing with children at such a young age, what would you say to a young child, maybe I say 4th, 5th, 6th grade, that comes to you and say, I don't see how education is important to me. I just want to play football. So what do you say to that kid that's not motivated about school, but they love sports, but they're not motivated in the classroom? He says, I don't understand what's math going to do for me, coach. What's math going to do for me when I just want to play football?
Oh, well, then that's simple. All I do is I take their love of sports and I make it relate to that education. So math, like you said, there's geometry. How are you going to run a slant if you don't know what the angle is? How are you going to run a post? How are you going to, so that's how are you going to calculate what your endorsements? How are you going to calculate what your per game check is? These are all things you need to know. We need to know about penmanship because you got to sign them checks. We want to sign those contracts. So we just have to find what they love and find that bridge to just explain. And without those education, without those pieces, you're not going to be able to make it to that next level because you're always going to be held back. You're not going to be able to accept those scholarships if you can't make the minimum entrance requirements. If you're attending a program where your classes are not NCAA approved, that's going to cause you an issue. So there has to be a focus. And, like with my own kids, my daughter is not so strong in math. We understand that, so we get extra support for that. And we also say, you know what, a B, that's great. That's
great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now my son, who's off the charts with that math, if he doesn't come with an A, we've got to talk. But without those pieces, you can't make it to that next level. So it's really important to find what they love, and that's really an easy situation because they love athletics. The real struggle is when you can't exactly determine what that kid loves. And that's where you have to inspire, that desire within them. And sometimes it's introducing them not only to sports, but even supportive items in sports, like videography, right. Like, score, keeping. These sorts of things, that we can bring children that may not want to run across the middle and catch a pass, but they want to be around the game. These are things that our organization brings that other organizations don't. And that's why we're different.
Yeah, that's wonderful because it is a big issue today where you have these kids that are great athletes, but the education part is lacking. So you get them motivated during the season and they are great in this classroom, but when the season is over, they're like, why am I here? So to be able to motivate and find out what they love, find that niche to that kid, to what makes them tick, and to relate it together would be something that would be huge, everywhere, because I see it all the time where you have these kids that from different schools in the area that go off to these big colleges and they can't stay there because the education, they're not strong enough in the classroom, and then when you go to be this superstar athlete, D1 athlete, and that's taking all of your time.
Absolutely.
And how do I balance that when nobody's there to help me? Now, I got to balance that by myself. So being able to raise them up younger and have them that strong classroom would be great, beneficial to a lot of athletes.
We want to build those skills in so that it is essentially muscle memory by the time it comes to the next level. It's muscle memory. It's not a big lift. And we don't want somebody that's just coming to work part-time. We need somebody that's working all year round.
Yes, for sure. Thanks.
Most definitely. We've got to pay some more bills, so we'll be right back. Gym City Sports Network. Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm Fred McDaniels.
I'm Coach Rick Youngblood back in the building with great conversation. And that, Coach, we get some great insight. And I'm excited about this program that Mr. Nelson's talking about because
Yes, I am
it is.
too.
It sounds like it's going to be great, beneficial for the kids, through life.
Yep.
And that's all it's about, raising these great men and women of today to make them great and make them solid, people of the community. So this is going to be awesome.
Yep, and I wanted to go back, and when we said Little League football, that's also cheerleading is in that realm as
That's
well.
why we've been making sure to add in
That's right.
young women and
That's right.
young men. Absolutely.
I wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now this is the blockbuster that I've been wanting to talk about, that I've been dreaming and nights just thinking about how could I get this off the ground. And then we're getting ready to start our Ohio Valley Elite Academy prep.
Okay.
And we have our head coach that's going to lead us to victory into a championship for 2026. And his name is Derrick Shepard. Welcome, Coach.
Welcome,
How you
Coach.
doing?
Pretty good. Happy to be here. I took a little time off just to spend time with family and just enjoy everyday life. But I'm happy, you can smell the grass. You can smell,
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be a part of something.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I appreciate you. I just want you to give us a little bit of background about you. I know that you was in the NFL. These are some exciting things that I want our audience to know about our head coach that's going to run our outlaw team this year.
For sure. Well, Coach Shepard, Derrick Shepard, born and raised here in Dayton. Graduated from the Meadowdale High School. Went on to play college at Georgia Tech. And I ended up playing 2 years in the NFL, Miami Dolphins in '98 and the New England Patriots '99. After having, brief stays with them, I decided to take my talents on, and I played 8 years of arena football. And that was some of the best years of my life. Because with arena, you're more hands-on with fans because it's like, if anybody's seen arena football before, you played in a hockey ring, basically. And the fans are right there. And it's just something about interacting with people, or you see a kid on the side and you get tackled by him and he's patting you on the helmet. It's nothing better than just being involved with people who come and support something that you love. So, after my years of playing arena football, I hung up my cleats and decided to start coaching. And, plus I had a young son that was starting Pee Wee level. Mm-hmm. So like any fathers out there that have sons, one of their main goals, at least it was mine, was I want to coach my son. And, give him the knowledge that I have and see how he can succeed. So at that point in time, I started coaching Pee Wee football, which I love that too because I'm just the type of person I just love giving back. If I give back to a kid and 20 years from now I hear Coach Shep, you made an impact on that individual.
Exactly.
So, I started coaching Pee Wee football all the way till my son became, entering the high school. Then I started coaching high school at Alta.
Okay.
And that was a nice experience because I was able to coach. Well, step back. I started coaching high school with ponies with the legendary Jim Place, and that was an honor to coach, for,
he was on our
with
show
a legend.
earlier.
That was an honor because I played against him when I was in high school. So just to be able to sit there and listen to him, take notes, cheat notes. Okay, you do this, do that. And he was very professional how he dealt with the students. It wasn't all about football. He got to know every student. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how your mama doing? What you eat today? It wasn't football. He looked at football to me as a blessing. So after coaching with him, then I started coaching at Alta under another legend, Ed Downside. So it's like I just been coaching with legends, along with playing for one at Meadowdale with Pat Masters. So I had three legends that I was able to take parts of and try to build into my own. And then, just now it's just this opportunity came and I had to jump on it.
That's awesome.
So.
Welcome. Should be a great season.
Yes,
I'm going to jump back over here to Mr. Lauren real quick. Can you explain to the audience what is post-grad about?
Absolutely. So post-grad is a program that is for anyone that has exhausted all of their high school eligibility. It is mainly for someone that is maybe looking for extra academic support. Maybe they didn't have a great academics, support system in place when they were in high school. Or it's for someone that maybe didn't get enough exposure, and maybe they need a little bit more tape, a little bit more, competition against higher level opponents. And so it gives kids an opportunity to have another shot at earning a scholarship without exhausting any NCAA or collegiate eligibility at all. So it's a really good bridge program between high school and the collegiate level.
All right. Rick, you got a little something there?
Yeah, I just wanted for Coach Shep here, that football, that bio is amazing, and to be seeing someone who actually played in the game that we watch every Sunday, that's actually on the field, to be talking to him in person is an honor. So thank you for being here.
Appreciate it.
But I want to say, what did you always know that you wanted to play in the NFL, or did that develop later, that love of football?
No, I thought I was going to be a basketball player. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't let the size fool you.
I believe it.
Big guys, they nice on their feet. Some.
Hey, I've seen a few, yeah.
But my first love was basketball. And I went out, tried out for the Dayton Mohawks, if anybody remember that, years ago. Mm-hmm. And I stopped because, of course, when you growing up, you have shirts and skins. I was on skins. And me being a big dude, I didn't want to take my shirt off. So it went on. I just played growing up. I didn't play Pee Wee. I played football when I got to middle school at Fairview. So a lot of the football that I was watching growing up as a little kid was churchyard football. Neighborhoods came together, and I looked at them like, y'all crazy. If y'all hitting with no pads on, but we watching on TV, they got on pads. I didn't want no parts of it. And then when I got to middle school, you build these bonds with friends. A lot of my friends was like, you got to play. You good, you fast for a big guy, you can move. So I started playing my 7th grade year. Going through that, it was just something that I enjoyed doing because I was with my friends. And that's why my philosophy is football is a bridge to gain more family and more friends. And ever since then, just playing. I didn't care if we won or lost. It's just building that bond with somebody and being able to, as we say now, go to war with your brother.
That's it.
And able to push each other and keep each other out of trouble. That's what it was about for me. Yes, it was fun. And, of course, we all wanted to win.
Right.
But just being able to do something with a group of friends and feeling good when y'all succeed was a major part for me. Did I think I was going to the NFL or even go have a shot at it? No. I really didn't. Because it was just, one of my idols was my brother. And he played flag football, and he idolized Lawrence Taylor. So I wanted to be like my brother, who wanted to be like Lawrence Taylor. And so I used to go to flag football games just to watch them. Like, but why are y'all pulling this little flag?
Right.
Not knowing nothing, but I'm in the mix. So high school, started playing, got a little notoriety, and I was like, okay, well it's cool. And it really didn't hit me to my senior year, because if anybody grew up with me, I was never somebody that walked around like I'm just the king of the hill,
Right.
I'm just a kid born and raised in Dayton, just having fun, doing something that's a blessing. But on top of that, you had to keep them grades. Like a close friend of mine, I call him my brother. We call student athletes for a reason. And in that order, student athletes. Without the first one, you can't do the other one. And that's something that I stress to any kids that I talk to. That's something that I stress to my kids. You can't do nothing without education. Right. Just like earlier, you have a kid that's an athlete, but he don't know how to do math. How you gonna count your money?
Yeah.
Math and reading and writing all go hand in hand with everything else. And, you know, it's just anything after that is a blessing. So, you know, got the scholarship to Georgia Tech, which, you know, I followed Marco Como, who's from Dayton, and the rest is history. Just a blessing. I still keep in touch with the guys that I played with in high school. We still get together once every month or 2 months. I still keep in touch with all my college buddies. So it's just that bond that was built throughout the years, all because of this one blessing called football. You know, so I love it. I don't like to see, I stress the importance to young kids that I talk to or coach that playing this sport is a blessing, so don't mess up your blessing. Take advantage of your blessing and give your blessing 110% and see where it leads you. And that's how I look at everything.
That's great. And so what would you say to our young listeners, you know, football players like yourself, to tell them how you balance being that D1 athlete, balancing your schoolwork? What advice would you give to them how to do that to be successful?
And friends, you know, and having friends and all of that in the mix.
One thing I would tell them is to sometimes fall back and relax, because things can become overwhelming. You can sit here and you got 5 classes, you got 3 essays you got to write, but then you got meetings, you got practice, you got weights, then you got your friends that want to go to the mall. You had to find a balance in everything. You have to pretty much put yourself on a schedule I'm going to dedicate this amount of time to my academics, because I know I got 4 hours here that I got to do for the sport, whether it's football, basketball, cheerleading, or whatever. You had to find balance, but then at the same time, you had to find time for yourself. You know, you have to sit back and relax. Go to church. You know, find organizations that you can be part of, whether it's just organization at your high school, college, or middle school, or just an organization in your community. Some that get you away from certain things that may stress you out will help you balance and, you know, come to a level head with certain things in life. When it comes to sports, one thing that I used to tell my kids, the football field is a notebook. The football is a pen. Write your story. And sometimes, you know, I used to tell, you know, players that, and they would look at me confused. And I'm like, what are you confused for? What do you mean? Write how you want your story to go. So you're not going to write nothing sorry, because you want this to be the best story ever.
Right.
So with that being said, oh, you talking about give 110%. I mean, if that's the way you want to take it, yes, write your story. You know, so I have players that I used to coach, you know, opponents. Coach, I'm still writing my story. Okay, keep writing. Nobody says you have to have a limit on how many pages you need to have in your story.
Right.
Continue to write your story. And that made me feel good, because I coached him 10, 15 years ago. And that's the kind of impact I want to make on student athletes. I want them to take something that I said and want to, you know, continue to remember it and be able to, you know, hopefully give it to their kids. You know, it's just all about building, turning these young men to grown men and helping them out, you know, any way, form, or fashion.
Well, any one of you can answer this question. Where you guys going to recruit, and where you guys going to get these young men from? And I think we need to stress what is post-grad all about. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's to get those kids to the next level. So where you guys doing most of your recruiting, and where is your student athletes are coming from? Either one.
So clearly we've got, you know, a really strong foothold in the Dayton area, thanks in part to clearly Coach Shep's impact, you know. So you drop his name, it clearly comes with some weight around here. So, but we are also stretching to the Detroit, Michigan area. We're going to be holding a camp up there. We're also going to be going to the Indianapolis, Indiana area. We're also going to have another camp in Cincinnati. So we're really going to have that nice little tri-state area kind of locked down. But honestly, we're willing to listen to anyone from any state, so.
Well, that's good. So are you guys looking for coaches, or, y'all already got your team together, or what?
We got some opening positions. We're open to anybody who's has a nice background, whose main goal is to make these student athletes better student athletes. We'll be having interviews for probably about 3 or 4 positions coming soon. They will be posted on our website. It might be 2 to 3 round interview, but we want to make sure that you're on the same page to achieve the same goal that we looking to get as well. So it's going to be a process.
Our main focus was to ensure that our program structure was sound. We do have the majority of the coaches in place, people with positions assigned and such like that. But like Coach said, we're going to have a few open spots. It is important to make sure that we have the right people. We already have our dorms in place. We have our meetings with our food provider. We have our home field kind of set right now. We're in the final stages of negotiations on that, but those have been going really well. So our structure, our support system is firm. Our foundation is great. So those other little pieces that we're going to fill in as we get closer to the season, that's going to be what we're going to be looking to do here in the next few weeks.
So basically, this is like a college atmosphere. You said dorms, so you're going to have dorms where the guys are going to stay and all of that, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. This essentially is a collegiate atmosphere that is focused on not only that athletic aspects of the pursuit of football, but also the academic, whether it's credit recovery for those individuals that may have exhausted their high school eligibility but didn't necessarily graduate. We'll also have a GED program if that's what they so choose. We really want to meet, the student athletes where they are and then help support them up, towards their dreams. So we'll also have both in-person and online college courses through local colleges here. So it is going to be that atmosphere without a lot of those distractions that also come with college, So we're going to have that focus on football, that focus on academics, but also that safety and security of our dorm and our nutrition environment.
That is awesome. And y'all got training facilities. And
Absolutely. Some of the
all right.
best training facilities in the Dayton area. We're already linked up.
All right. Hey, we're ready to rock and roll here.
And I know
Yes.
that, and I hear you got all your facilities, your coaches and everything, and your recruiting areas. But how do you go about recruiting the right kids, knowing that you have the right kids? Because, that might be 500 that apply. How do you know when you got the right, what process you're using to say, these are the right 30 for me right here?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of, just like what we talked about, how we screen coaches, that same process is how we screen players. Because we're not only, recruiting that kid, we're also recruiting their family. We're also recruiting everything, every piece of baggage that they've ever had. And not that baggage is the worst thing in the world,
right.
Because, it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
And so we are here to look at that entire aspect of that student athlete. It's great that we have such an experienced coach and
Right.
Coach Shep and our supportive coaches around. We get together and we discuss. This is a family atmosphere in all of the good ways and none of the bad ways, So this is a family atmosphere where each of us has a voice, and we really look at really what is the sum of this student athlete. Where are they going to contribute, and what piece of the puzzle for the Ohio Valley Elite puzzle do they fit in? Mm-hmm. And so once we feel comfortable in that, we extend an offer, we explain all of the expectations, just like we talked about before. And if we feel like that's a fit, we extend that offer, and then they accept, and we get them on the road to their future.
Oh, Coach, you got anything to back that up there?
I'm just ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like you said, we got everybody in the right place. All the pieces to the puzzle is put together. We're just ready to go and get this ball rolling, So I'm excited. I know Lauren's excited.
Absolutely.
Well, my right-hand man, so.
And like you say, you're with the background that you have, it is very, very key to getting sometimes those key players, because they see that, oh, he actually been to the top level.
Yes.
He's been to college. He's been to the pros. So, hey, I can listen to what he's saying because he did it.
Yeah.
So it's easier for kids sometimes to say, look at you and go, yeah, what he's saying is real because he did
walked the walk.
He walked the walk, so he ain't just talking. He's been there,
he's
and
walked the walk.
he got that T-shirt already. So I can listen to what he's saying. But for me, the question I have is, when we get to watch the NFL players on Sunday, we watch them in the game, and we just imagine, myself, I do, I wonder what's that life like.
I know.
You lived it. So what was that like for you, actually, the day-to-day being in the NFL as your job?
It was cool. I'm not a rah-rah type person, so
This is a humble guy. Okay, this is a humble guy.
The thing that really amazed me back there was the amount of free stuff a rich person would get. I had a friend that he was there with me in Miami, and we was eating at Planet Hollywood for free. And I'm just sitting there like, that's unusual to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that kind of just blew me away. I'm like, you got the money. Or we'll go to the beach and they let us get the jet skis for free. I'm like, dude,
access.
You got the money. So, that was something that was kind of amazing. It was a good experience, because it was, if you take any kid that want to play football, 99.9% of them say they want to make it to the NFL.
Yep.
So just to get there, like when I was with the Dolphins, as soon as I walked in the locker room, I was like starstruck because I seen Dan Marino's locker. Wow. Lockers. Because he had one for his Achilles braces, ankle braces, and I'm just sitting there like, wow.
Wow.
And then I see Jason Taylor, so I'm just like, man. And then mine over here in the corner, with a T-shirt. And, so it's just to be able to see people that you only saw on TV. And it's like, wow. Like my cousin, he's a diehard Dolphins fan. First thing I did was, can you sign these gloves? They look at me like, dude, you a part of it. Can you sign these gloves, please? I sent my cousin all kind of stuff, signed by everybody. So it was nice. It was nice. It was a blessing.
Yeah.
And like I said, the arena, I done been in so many cities I didn't even know existed with arena football.
Wow.
Because, a lot of the arena football teams, with the exception of some, they're not in big cities.
Yeah, it's mainly small market.
Yeah, so it was like, what's that? I forget where I went in Pennsylvania. It was like, I ain't never been here. We went through a town that looked like it didn't have no streetlights. So it's just, that's why I love the arena so much, because just being able, I done been in Hawaii because of arena football.
Wow.
When they had an arena football team, I think it was called Hawaii Islanders or something like that.
Nice.
And it's just amazing. So it's like you said, I'm humble.
Right.
Sometimes I don't even like to talk football because that's been my life.
Right.
And then I'm going through it. Me and my wife going through it with our son. So it's like, hey, let's talk about Family Feud or something. So like Coach said, I'm very humble because I know everything was a blessing, but I also know me going through all that, it was a calling too, for me to give back to youth, to young teenagers, and just knowledge that I have gained throughout my playing career, just to be able to give it to other people. So, like you said, we had a table with a former NFL player. No, you just had a table with somebody that was blessed to play a game that he loved and take advantage of it to get degrees.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's in business management and informational technology. I have a master's in the same field, all because of football. So I took advantage of the free education that I was blessed to receive to get that paper. Because the paper, they can't take it from you.
That's right.
Football can get taken from you.
That's right.
In the blink of an eye, and that's why they came up with that saying, next man up.
Yep.
But when you get that paper, can't nobody take it from you. Even if your house burned down, you can get another copy of that paper.
It's on file somewhere.
It's on file.
It's on
so
file.
That's something that they can't take away from you.
Well, my key thing here, and I asked one of the coaches we had before on there that had kids in sports, and you have a son that's in football as well, and you coach them coming up, and I want to know how, even now I know he probably leans on you for advice in football and other stuff. How do you keep that separated from dad and coach?
We don't talk about football.
Okay.
Oh.
I was hard on my son from Pee-wee till he got to middle school. Okay, he played middle school ball with the junior knights through Alter. And I just sat back and watched him. I did my dirt from K1 to 6th grade.
And that's it, yeah.
After that, it's time for you to go ahead and see what you can do.
But he had a good organization that you felt strongly about.
Oh, yeah,
you
I
know,
mean-
so you could take
Well,
that seat, and
Well,
that's
yeah, he had a great organization.
that's great.
Also, I looked at him like it's all on you to make your name as well,
Gotcha.
regardless if the organization was grade A
Gotcha.
or grade F. You can still play as a grade A player.
Absolutely.
But like you said, great organization. He done been any organization that he's been on are good organizations. You know, it's just at that point in time we was out of school in that area,
Yeah.
and we was gonna keep him in that school district. So it made more sense to put him with the junior knights, knowing that he was gonna go to Alton.
Absolutely.
Might as well get in that system. You used to, because the middle school team ran the same offense as that downside been running for 100 years.
Yeah.
So you might as well get used to it.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, it wasn't about football no more. It was just, are you having fun?
Yeah.
Because if you're not having fun doing it, why are you doing it?
Right.
That's key.
And then I was just blessed to, because he didn't play his freshman year because he tore his labrum at St. Albert, his 8th grade year. So his freshman year, I trained some of the D linemen that was seniors at Alton. And the word got out, hey, you need to have Coach Shep come coach. And that's how I ended up with Alton. And then the main thing Coach Downside told me is don't coach your son. So I said, okay, I'm coaching the offensive line.
Right.
He played D-line.
Right.
But then come to happen, he started offensive line sophomore year on. And he played defense his sophomore year. But then when I told him, hey, in Pee-wee, he went both ways.
Right. Right.
So we needed him on offense, which he didn't like. 'Cause he was getting recruited for defense.
Right.
But I said it's not just about you, it's about what the team needs.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's something that I preach to kids as well.
Of course.
It's no eyes in team.
No.
But like Kobe said, it is and when. But
So you gotta find that.
yeah, you gotta find that needed. But
Definitely is and
that
when.
was something that I value, that I'm not just gonna make it about him. Like you would have never known that was my son. The last 3 years of high school for him. I never went to him because, like I said, I did all my dirt. So even at practice, some of the D-line would come to me and be like, how can I get past your son? You're not. He made All-State at offensive tackle, but got a full ride for D-tackle,
Oh, wow.
which is kind of like,
Yeah.
how that happened? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
how that happened.
And it's just, it was nice to see him and not having to coach him, I was able to dedicate my time to the players that needed it. So back to your question, I never had to separate it. I'm always dad. Even to this day, I watch him. Hey, you did this wrong. Yeah, I know. Okay, how's school?
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Yeah.
Or he'll call me, Dad, did you see this? Yeah, I seen it. But I'm hard on him. I seen the 2 tackles you missed. I don't care if you had 5.
Yeah.
But I seen them 2 you missed.
Yeah.
Ah, Dad, you always like that. I mean, I'm the type of coach where I'm gonna break you down, but I'm gonna work my butt off to build you back up.
Yeah.
Because you can learn from your negative things and turn the negatives into positives. And that's kind of my philosophy. That's everyday life with me. Even with one of my daughters, I have an older daughter that play basketball, and my youngest, she's a cheerleader. My daughter, which coach knows, I had 20 points. Yeah. But you smoked 2 layups and you missed 5 free throws. You could have had 30. And it's
Should have
just
had 30.
yeah, so it's just, my house is so competitive,
Yeah.
because like I said, my youngest is a cheerleader, and I say she's the best athlete because she can do backflips. My son's 6'5". His big buddy ain't doing no backflips. And my oldest daughter, she 6'1". All we doing is rolling backwards on the floor. So it's so competitive, but it's a nice feeling to have kids that's student athletes.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
You know, so
And all in their own right.
yeah,
too.
all in their own area.
That's all on their own.
Yeah.
You know.
I got one more question, and we're gonna have to get up out of here, and we have to get back. You got to come back.
Yeah.
But I know that you both have daughters, and I know, Mr. Nelson, your daughter is heading off to college. So would you give us a little bit about that and what her background is as an athlete and as a student?
Absolutely. So my youngest daughter, Penelope, is a soccer player, currently with Chaminade Julienne. It's her senior season. She has done soccer competitively for the last 12 years, I would say. She swam competitively, was a junior Olympic swimmer with key swimming for quite a few years, and then she decided that she really loved soccer the most, and that was what she wanted to focus. So we've actually been blessed. She's been highly recruited. We've been blessed to go on quite a few recruiting visits, and we've received her official offers. So right now we've got a couple spreadsheets going, and she's got a tough decision to make. So the top two right now is Lourdes University in Northern Ohio, in Sylvania, Ohio, and then William Penn University in Iowa. So she had amazing visits at both places, and it's a really tough decision for her, but we're just supporting her every step of the way, and whatever she chooses. I know Mom will be a little bit more sad if she goes to Iowa, but you know, I'm just happy that she has had the opportunity to go to the next level. Yeah. You know, and like we told her when she was a young lady, we need you to find a way to pay for this college, whatever it may be, whatever it is. Figure out a way, and she's chosen soccer, and they've responded. So we're really looking forward to it.
Awesome, Coach. Is your daughter in 12th?
Yes, they actually
Okay,
they got
went to
history.
school when they were younger.
Yeah, yeah.
Just maybe tell us a little bit, real quick about.
Well, my son is a defensive tackle at Tulane.
All right.
You know, make sure y'all tune in tonight. They play Memphis tonight on ESPN.
That's why I got to get you.
What's his number? What's his number?
94.
94. I'll be right to look at that.
My oldest daughter, she's a senior at Alter, basketball player. She's getting recruited. She got about 6 offers for basketball, but she also throws the shot put and discus. And this was her first year. This past track season was her first year throwing the shot coming off an ACL tear. So she did no spinning, no nothing. She just stood at the end of the circle, straight strength, threw it 38 feet. So she came up a foot short for making it to state.
Wow.
So she got like 2 or 3 offers for track. And then my youngest, the athlete, what I call her, she's the cheerleader. She's very creative. She go to cosmetology school. She's good with nails, hair, everything. So the sky's the limit for her. So it's either gonna be cheerleading, or I don't expect me and my wife to pay for school for this last 2. So, you know, and that's the goal. especially if they're doing something they love. So,
Doing something.
Absolutely.
you know, it's a busy household in my house, just like coaches is. 'Cause we going on visits, going to all these schools events, watching TV, you know, with our son, or going to his games. So we're going at 8 different angles. So
Yeah, and then whenever my daughter decides to commit, then it's up for my son, who's a junior. So football and baseball, it's done with one, right up next to the other one.
Yeah.
You know, so but I think that's a big part of why we care so much, because we've seen what it's done for our children. You know, like clearly I didn't make it to the league or anything. I didn't play in college, but without sports, my life would have been different in the city of Dayton. Sports really changed my life, and so to see our kids have that same fulfillment, you know, that has just been the greatest blessing, and we want to share that with other kids. That's absolutely what we want to do.
And I'm going to close it out by saying thank you to all 3 of you. You know, I started this dream of mine probably like 5 years ago. And Mr. Youngblood, my right-hand man, he helped me get to this point right now. I mentioned Coach's Corner. I said podcast. He's like, yo, we got it. And I'm like, yo, you ain't going to act. Nah, we got it. Don't worry about it. The Little League football, traveling, and all these things, he's been by my side. So I want to say thank you for that. Sure. And you two, I didn't know how it was going to work out, but I had this dream of owning my own Ohio Valley Elite Academy prep school for athletes. And I really do, from my heart, really thank you guys. Mm-hmm. And anything you guys need, we're going to make it happen. And I just want to let the people know out there.
Got you.
Got 'em on.
We all family.
We all,
Sir.
Like we say, peace.
Peace. We out.